Hello everyone, hello, and welcome back to another episode. If you don't know me already, my name is Coach Kyle, aka CK, and I want to first thank you for your patience. I've been missing on this platform for 5 months, I think, and I just put a lot of time and energy into my Instagram and into my TikTok. So I'll tag, yes, TikTok. So I'm gonna tag those down below for you so you can check those out. Otherwise, you saw the topic, so let's dive in. Motivation. Probably one of the most fleeting things out there. Constantly trying to elude us, constantly trying to leave the room, leave the house, leave our minds, leave our willpower. It's constantly trying to go somewhere. And so in 2020, motivation has completely shifted because we've had to find completely different ways on how to find motivation, how to feel motivated. Basically, it came down to the question, why bother when there's so much bad going on in the world? That's kind of where it started to go. And so if you're anything like me, when I would look for motivation, I was constantly looking for outside sources, first and foremost, which is something we'll address today. But I would sit down at a desk and I would say, okay, Kyle, get to work. Do the thing. Get to work, do the thing. And I was trying to use sheer willpower to get it done. And unfortunately, that only worked sometimes, not all the time. And so I had to completely shift how to go about it. Now, sometimes in the old days, I would watch motivational videos, right? Because those are inspiring. But I've shifted away from that now to watching those for inspirational messages to attach to, not necessarily the motivational feeling, the urge to get work done. Outside of that, I used social pressure. Coffee shops, libraries, things of that nature to fuel me and to feel motivated. Now, I still use that one, but as we've come across in 2020, we know that can be taken away really fast. So what else can you do? How can you shift with the shift? So I decided, okay, how do we do this? I found 3 ways that have really drastically helped me in 2020 in regards to the space of motivation and inspiration and just getting a lot done. And I've been very productive in this year. I've gotten a lot of things done, so much growth, so I want to share them with you. The very first one, numero uno, habit stacking. Let me explain. I know some of you are going to combat me on this, and that's okay. This is not for everybody. Neither are all 3 of these. They're just the space I come from. Habit stacking. So what I've decided to do, instead of sitting my butt down at the desk and saying, get to work, I decided I'm gonna do other things because I feel like when I just dive into it, I'm not in a flow. I don't really feel super creative. I feel like there's not a lot of mental clarity. I just feel a little lost with it all right out of the gate. So I have to work over time to get past that, and there's just a lot of resistance. So here's what I would do. I would do the dishes, right? I'm working from home, as many of you are. No, it works the other way. And I would do the dishes, right? Okay, so I do the dishes, and then, well, I would probably wipe the counters after I do the dishes, naturally, right? And then as I wipe the counters, I notice, well, I put some crumbs on the floor, so I'm gonna sweep. Yeah, no worries, I'll sweep. And then I might feel inclined to Swiffer or to mop. And then as I do that, I might realize it's time to dust. I don't know, but essentially what I'm saying is I would start to stack my habits. And what would happen is when I would come into this space of work, I would feel energetic, motivated, and inspired, and I would feel like I've already coming in accomplished, therefore it will be easier for me to accomplish more by pre-habit stacking. Does that make sense so far? I'm pre-habit stacking now. I understand that, yes, you could just end up cleaning all day. So on some level, if you have a big house, you'll have to moderate it a little bit. But you can understand the concept, right? Even if I just did the dishes, just that one thing, I would feel better about it. Now remember, an unorganized space is an unorganized mind. Or in reverse, an unorganized mind leads to an unorganized space. I came across something a while ago that said, your space is a reflection of what's happening upstairs. So if it's super cluttered, it's super unorganized, and it's not very clean, that is a direct reflection of what's happening upstairs in your mind. And so when we take care of these tasks that are drawing us away from the things we know we want to do, like work, for example, then we come into this space more clear, more calm, and more organized. And then we're able to actually get some tangible, like feel good work done. So that's number one. Numero dos. I found leverage. And this one I'm going to explain. I found leverage. This correlates directly with finding the deeper purpose, finding a deeper why. I just prefer the word leverage for myself. And let me explain. Your tyrant mind is going to try to pull you away. You're going to sit down at a desk, you're going to try to get work done, and your mind is going to say, go do the dishes. It's going to say, go for a walk. It might say, watch Netflix because the TV is right behind you. Just turn it on. It's going to ask you, and it's going to try to get you to go do these easier things that are just more comfortable, more casual, and it's basically just going to tell you to stop. What you need on the other side of that is an overly compelling reason, an overly compelling argument that always overpowers whatever the tyrant mind can come up with. You following me so far? We need to basically overcompensate and have this space come through as so compelling that the tyrant mind just basically says, well, I lost that war. Battle again tomorrow, but you'll know that it was easy to win this time, so it's going to be easy again tomorrow because your reason is so compelling. My compelling reason came this year after a conversation I've had many times, but this year it clicked. And it was my future family. For those that don't know me or for whatever you know me, I want 4 kids. I want to be with my partner and have 4 kids. And I had to look at my space, I had to look at myself and say, am I anywhere near that? Am I on my way to being near that? Where do I stand with that? And am I going to be able to provide for them if they show up tomorrow? And the answer to that question was no. So my compelling reason, my leverage was when that situation comes into my life, I want to be prepared for it as best as I can be. I would much rather be over prepared and it not happen than be under prepared and it show up. And so I'm working towards that. So whenever my tyrant mind comes through and says, you're too stressed, ugh, you got too much going on, all right, you're too tired, aren't you? I come in hot with my leverage and I say, no, get out of here. Scoot, like motivation, scoot, get out of here. I don't want you here. This is my motivation. Number 3, numero tres. I redefined productivity and I added grace and compassion in the process. Let me explain. Do you even know the definition of productivity? I just Googled it and now I feel well educated because I know. Productivity is essentially just to produce something, to produce an outcome. Simple. So the problem rose when we attached that word to the workspace, because then all of a sudden nothing else mattered. Only thing that mattered was work productivity. But that's not where the word came from. So I want you to think about this from this perspective. When you brush your teeth, I'm sorry, when you brush your teeth, are you producing something? Yes, you are. You're producing clean teeth, a healthy mouth, and clean gums. You're producing all those things by brushing your teeth, okay? When you dust, are you producing something? Some would say more dust. That's how I feel sometimes. But when we're dusting, we're producing a clean environment. When we sweep, we're producing a clean environment. When we cook, we're producing food for our body, for energy. We're producing energy. Hell, when we're sweeping or when we're brushing our teeth, we're having an energy exchange, so we're producing something always. Even if you sleep in and get extra sleep, you're producing something, you're producing energy. Maybe you're producing prolonged health, whatever it is, right? You're producing something. And so the question now arises, okay, well then, am I productive in a day? Am I being productive? And now that you are aware of this perspective, now you have to ask yourself, well, I didn't get work done, but wait a second. If everything is essentially in a production space, then wow, what did I do today? I cooked all my meals, 3 to 4 meals. I cooked that, all of them, and prepared them, and did the dishes after. I don't even know how many fingers that is at that point. I swept the floor. Even better, reel it back even farther. I went for a walk. Like I said, I brushed my teeth. I dusted. What else do I got here? I cooked my meals. I watered the plants. That's being productive. And you're probably looking at me like you're crazy. How's that productivity? But there are so many things that we do in a day on autopilot that are still productive things. But the societal conditioning says it's just in the workplace that you can be productive, so none of that counts. That's just what you're supposed to do. When in reality, that's not the case. All of that's energy transfer. So every time we do something, we're either gaining or losing energy. When you go pee, you're losing energy. But peeing 20 times a day, I mean, you're still producing something, so one could call that productivity. You can go as far as that, but what I'm saying is, we redefine it in the space that it's not just the workplace, it's also just our life. We are productive people. We just need to give ourselves credit for it. Ergo, do people still say ergo? Ergo, no. Reeling it back in, no ergo. Leading into the grace and compassion part. Introducing grace towards yourself and compassion towards yourself. The understanding that, hey, look, I got no work done today, but I did this, 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 I did 300 things today. None of them were just work. They weren't work related. But that doesn't mean that I was not productive. That just simply means I was productive in the essence of the definition. And that's okay. I did a lot of great stuff today. And I'm gonna praise myself for that right now because I did a lot of great stuff today. That's where we reel it back into, we rehumanize ourselves. We rehumanize the process rather than literally feeling like a robot. We're rehumanizing ourselves. So those are my 3 ways that I've found motivation in 2020 that I now use towards maintaining that motivation. And a lot of it is internal. It's just very simple things to do. It's not complicated. However, I just really hope it helps. I know that this is a struggle for a lot of people in 2020, and maybe that's you. So I hope these 3 things help either open up a new perspective or have you inclined to take action, or maybe they just planted a seed. It's up to you if you water it or not. It's totally your choice. This is not for everybody. But I appreciate you watching. I appreciate you coming back into this space after the 5-month break. Like, subscribe, share with someone who maybe is also struggling with motivation. Last piece, I created a men's Facebook group. It's called The Awakened Man. And it's a space for any brother who's looking to join a safe space. And the purpose of the entire group is to promote collective awakening and to help actually define, not redefine, define masculinity and men's work and the modern man. We're working together, we're building together, we're growing together. Equality is always the answer. I'm gonna go on a tangent. I appreciate you watching so much. All the links will be down below for anything that I've sent in this video. I appreciate you, I love you. Be kind to yourself. That's all. Ciao, CK is out.